Today on Absolute Anthem, I've got a quick bit of Anthem news for you guys. Not a lot to talk about, but we've got some heavy hitter goodness in here. To start, IGN has made Anthem their IGN First Game of the Month for January. They already dropped a 3-player run-through of the Lost Arcanus mission with some great editing, showcasing the perspective of the Interceptor, Colossus, and Storm. Today, they dropped what will be hopefully one of 4 gameplay profiles for each of the 4 javelins, starting with the Storm. It is a super good video. Brandon Terriel has done a fantastic job with this one. The editing is great, and more importantly, they take some time to really showcase the gameplay experience of the Storm, which I think is what a lot of people have been looking for. We've seen it, but we haven't really seen it. This feels like the first time we're really seeing it, and even though it's alpha gameplay from a few months ago, it showcases that glass cannon personality that the Storm Javelin has. It talks about the Kinesis shield and how vital it's going to be to countering the low armor of the Storm Javelin, but how that's also kind of a part of what makes it so challenging to play, because you got to put yourself up in the air, really into those line of sights with the enemy, and you got to find ways to balance and counter that. They also showcase 2 potential builds for the Storm, and it's awesome to see a lot of abilities and combos in action up against what appears to be some decently challenging content, not just the easy mode stuff. Do yourself a favor, check out their IGN First Coverage. Hopefully we'll get a profile for the other 3 javelins in the coming days. Cannot recommend the work that they've been doing with IGN First enough. Honestly, every single one of IGN First monthly coverage have been killer. I like the way they do content for it, and they've been putting a lot of people on deck who are genuinely interested in the games that they're covering for that specific month, and I know many others appreciate that. Moving on, we finally got full system requirements for the PC version of Anthem. Taking a look at the minimum system specs, you're going to need 64-bit Windows 10, an Intel Core i5 3570 or AMD FX 6350 equivalent, 8 GB of system memory, NVIDIA GTX 760, AMD Radeon 7970 or R9 280X with 2 GB of video memory and at least 50 GB of free space on your hard drive, as well as DirectX 11. Moving over to the recommended side of things, obviously DX11, 64-bit Windows 10. Then we've got an Intel Core i7 4790 3.6 GHz or AMD Ryzen 3 1300X 3.5 GHz or equivalent, 16 GB of system memory, NVIDIA GTX 1060, RTX 2060 or AMD RX 480 with 4 GB of video memory and again at least 50 GB of free space on your hard drive. Those are actually pretty reasonable GPU specs on both sides of the table, but especially on the recommended side. The CPU obviously seeming a little bit more intensive there, as well as system memory for somebody who's not running full 16 GB just yet. But this is a pretty decent cross-section in my mind. Hopefully performance for the game is solid. In general, Frostbite has been pretty scalable in the past. There have been issues with certain drivers and certain GPUs, so hopefully we don't have a lot of those same problems, especially on the AMD side of things. We'll have to see how that cookie crumbles, but fortunately, you'll be able to figure out for yourself well before the game launches, with the demo happening later this month and at the beginning of February. Speaking of the demo, a lot of people have been asking me about demo download dates. We don't have an exact date yet, but Mike Gamble made it very clear on Twitter just a few days ago that the demo will be available to download before the demo actually goes live. So anyone who has slower internet or just wants to get it ready, you'll be able to do that before it actually starts and have it locked and loaded to play with your friends, to play alone, whatever you see fit. The demo client is also going to be a separate demo client. It will carry through from the VIP demo to the free demo, but after that, you can delete it, and you'll be looking to install the full game if you choose to pick it up at launch. That does it for me, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen my video from earlier today, I took a look at the 4K gameplay trailer from the CES NVIDIA keynote and did a quick little breakdown of that. We got to see some new Super Scrapper Scar action, as well as some other enemies and some cool glimpses of what is probably the Anthem of creation. Do yourself a favor and check that out. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember to be awesome to one another, because at the end of the day, that's all we got.
The most